Hey guys, so today I just want to make my iPhone 4 versus my iPhone 5 video here. So this was a pretty interesting video for me to make because I think that a lot of people is upgrading from iPhone 4 over here to a brand new iPhone 5. And I did see that on YouTube. It wasn't actually that many videos about this, and I thought it was pretty interesting because I mean, aren't it like a lot of people upgrading from an iPhone 4 to like an iPhone 5, or at least like thinking about doing it? And of course, I do know that Apple fans, they are probably already updated to the iPhone 4S and then the iPhone 5 because they like Apple. They want to have it like that. But I still think there is a lot of people that still, wondering, should I upgrade? Is it worth it? So I want to make a quick little video over here covering that. And I thought I would just go ahead here and start off with the visual things. So on the front, of course, this is the major thing that you will notice in the beginning. The iPhone 5 has a bigger display, larger display. So it's taller, but it's not thicker, because if you go ahead and look here, design-wise, we can see that the new iPhone 5 is a little bit thinner, or I mean, it actually feels a lot thinner when you actually do hold it in your hand, but it is a little thinner than the iPhone 4. And also you can see here, take a look here at the bottom, we have the new dock connector, and it's a cable that you can put in both ways. And with the iPhone 4, there is only one way to put in the cable, but this is a nice little feature there. And also that Apple finally have decided to have a smaller dock connector, just as a lot of Android smartphones, they do have that mini USB connector. And you can also see that on the iPhone 5 you also get the headphone jack at the bottom, so if you don't like that, well, then the iPhone 5 may not be something for you, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a very good thing. You also see that you have the speaker here, the bigger speaker. You also have kind of like a new aluminum design, and then you have the little mic, I'm pretty sure, over there, and same thing over here, but here you can't really like differ it in a way, but I think it looks a little bit more cool here on the iPhone 5. And of course, on the sides, we still have the kind of the same things, even though that the iPhone 5, of course, here on the micro SIM on the right side, micro SIM is what's being used on the iPhone 4, while the iPhone 5 is using nano SIM. So it's basically like a micro SIM, but a smaller one. So you need to cut it yourself, but it's not that hard, or you can get a card from, of course, your carrier. Now, also a thing I can quickly tell you before we go ahead and continue here to the back is that the iPhone 4 is a lot heavier than the iPhone 5. That's one of the things that you will notice. Very, 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 in the beginning there, almost 30 grams heavier than the iPhone 5. So something that you definitely want to consider. But when we close the screens over here, one thing also that we can see, and what I can see when I turn off the displays, is that it's kind of hard on the iPhone 5 to see where the display starts, because it's a lot darker, while when we have the display turned off here on the iPhone 4, we can see a little bit like a grayish color or something, so you can see where the display starts. So I'm not quite sure why that's the case, because if I understood it correctly, the screens are kind of the same, but a little bit higher resolution here on the iPhone 5, is because it's a taller device. But if you go ahead here and continue, also you can see that the iPhone 5, the home button, or the home button, the only button in the middle there, it's not as white anymore. It doesn't have as white rectangular thing over there. So that's also a small little design change that they did here on the front side. And also, if we move up to the top, I'm pretty sure we have been going over this, but you can see that it's only the headphone jack now that's located at the bottom of the device, and I love it because that's how the Apple's iPod touches always has been, and that's amazing when you have your device in your pocket, because then that's the way, if they would have it at the top, and when you have your device in your pocket, then you will kind of damage, or I mean, at least if you have it in your jacket, you will kind of like damage this one, and that kind of sucks. Or I mean, the headphone cable basically. Now, if you go ahead and continue to the back, now on the back we can see a very big thing here that they have changed, and that is that you no longer use on the iPhone 4 you have a big piece of glass. Now that's not something that you have anymore with the iPhone 5. Now we only have glass on a small little on the bottom side here, and also on the top side, and then we have this new kind of metal area or something that I'm really not sure. It has a totally different feel, and also the Apple logo feels a little bit different, while the Apple logo over here is made in pure glass or something. But of course this is just because a lot of people scratched. A lot of people did scratch their iPhone 4S and their iPhone 4, so this is probably why Apple went with this kind of design. So this one should be a lot harder to scratch, and that's I think something that is welcome. But a lot of people like, or I mean, of course, a lot of people like the iPhone 5 because they bought it, but I really don't think it feels that much exclusive as the iPhone 4S and the iPhone 4 with this kind of thing. I think it actually looks kind of weird. And what happens if you scratch, let's say, this part, or you get a big fat damage over here, and you want to replace it? Do you need to replace the whole back, or how does that thing work? I'm not quite sure, and maybe it's almost impossible to break these small parts, because the smaller the glass parts are, usually from what I've heard, it should be harder to damage it, and maybe that's kind of obvious. But also the camera over here, of course it's a 8-megapixel camera on the iPhone 5 versus a 5-megapixel camera here on the iPhone 4, which records in 720p, while this one records in 1080p. And also the front-facing camera, the iPhone 4 records in 480p, while the iPhone 5 records in 720p. But I'm gonna go ahead and go over the specs a little bit more here in the future. But it should be also harder there. You can see here on the lens here on the iPhone 4, it should, also on the 4S, it should be easier to scratch that one. And if you do scratch that one, let's say you drop it and this one gets scratched, then your pictures could be become worse in bad quality and stuff. So that's definitely something that you don't want. And so this one should be kind of a little bit more scratch resistant or something from what I've heard, and of course that's kind of nice, but that's only something that I have heard. I haven't been able to confirm it. So that was a quick little look and feel here on the visual side of things here on the device. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about some key specs features. And some of the key specs features here definitely on the display, if you go ahead and start off with that, is that you can see that the color saturation is a lot warmer. Colors are a lot warmer here on the iPhone 5. So if you just look here at the iTunes logo, you can see it's way more pink and way more has like warmer colors over here. Let's see here. Hopefully you can see that the colors are a lot warmer. The phone icon is a lot more green on the iPhone 5. The main icon is a lot more blue and white, and you really can see it in these icons that has a lot of colors to it, and it's even easier to see it and spot it in real life. Just as I said there, with the iTunes logo being more pink there, the music logo being a little bit more, actually it's kind of hard to see that, but you can see it's a little bit more yellowish. So I think most people like it. I've always liked Samsung for their AMOLED displays, and those are famous for having warm colors and stuff. So I thought we just go ahead and go here into the settings area, and let's go ahead and check out some different wallpapers. So you can go ahead and get a quick look here at some of the here you can see it's maybe a little bit easier here to see that the colors are warmer there. And if you just go ahead and fire up a picture like this picture, it's very easy to see that the colors are warmer here. So definitely something that I do like. Now Apple also is calling their display that it's the world's best, but if you ask me personally, I still think, Sammy Boy with AMOLED displays are amazing. And you can even also see it here, the greens, that yeah, it is gray now on the Apple iPhone 5. And it's nice, and it was probably very easy for them to do. They probably bumped up some settings in the display area because it's still kind of the same display. The text is kind of the same crispiness. So if you go ahead and continue down here, if you go ahead and continue down to resolution here on the display, of course both are 640 across. But the iPhone 5 is 1136 over here on this length, and 1136, yeah, that sounds a little bit awkward, not like Android smartphones that always have like 720p displays or 1080p displays, while the iPhone 4 has 960. Now you won't really notice a difference in color or in text crispiness or anything like that. Both are still over 300 pixels per inch, which basically does mean that you can't even spot the pixels from a certain area. So of course that is still pretty sweet. And if you go ahead and look here at the weight again, 112 grams here on the iPhone 5, so it's a lot easier and heavier, or lighter. So I think it lost that little bit of an exclusive cool feeling that iPhones always have had with the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4S. So the iPhone 4 has a weight of 137 grams, and it has a nice feeling to it. And the iPhone 4S, also if you didn't know, it weighs a few more grams extra, like 3 more grams. And also one of the key things here is the 8 megapixel camera, so you'll be able to take a lot more nicer pictures with the iPhone 5 versus the 5 megapixel camera on the iPhone 4. So also something that's pretty interesting to know. 512 megabytes of RAM still in the iPhone 4, something that could be pretty good to know in terms of multitasking. Most Android smartphones nowadays have around the gig, or now the high-end smartphones like my Galaxy Note 2 has 2 gigabytes, and that should be very good for very heavy apps. And if you use a lot of heavy apps and you felt that your device could go a little bit slow sometimes, then you might want to upgrade to an iPhone 5 because it contains at least 1 gigabyte of RAM, so at least it's a lot better, it's twice. And also something that I could say here about the processor, and something that you also want to know here is that you have the chipset. It's the A4 chipset here on the iPhone 4, while you get the A6 chipset here, and that this is a chipset that Apple themselves do with like Qualcomm, I think. So going from A4 and chipset to A6, that's also a big difference there, especially in some of the newer games like Infinity Blade. You will see like a difference there. And both here are rocking a kind of like a dual core processor, 1 gigahertz dual core on the iPhone 4, but it is A8 processor, Cortex A8. While the new iPhone 5 over here, it's clocked at 1.2 GHz, a little bit higher clocked over there. Still not quad core like some of the Android smartphones, but it's Cortex A9, so going from Cortex A8 to a little bit higher clocked. And the Cortex A9, you will also feel a difference. Now, you won't really see a difference when you're doing things like this, but in terms of app loading and speed test stuff that I will do here pretty soon, you will definitely see a big difference over there. Also, the GPU is a big step up there from the XGX 535 that you get on the iPhone 4 versus the new SGX 543 MP3, so it should be triple core graphics, 543 MP. 2, that's what the iPhone 4 we're using in that was one was like dual core graphics. This one should be some kind of triple core graphics. So of course it sounds good, it sounds awesome, it sounds pretty sweet. So of course that is very nice. Now of course, also one thing that definitely should mention here with the iPhone 5 is that you get Siri. So this is the voice assistant that was very popular when the iPhone 4S launched and became like a huge success. And that's basically this thing you can hold in the button over like this, and you can get a get a personal voice assistant. You can ask her questions, You can let her open up apps for you, I can show it for you. Open Safari. And her name is basically Siri. And as you can see here, she is opening up Safari and a web page. Now we can also ask her other questions like, Siri, what is 2 plus 2? So Siri is her name basically.
This may not be completely accurate, but here's in coping.
And then you can also chit chat with her like, who are you?
I don't see "are you" in your address book.
Oops. Who are you?
I'm Siri, but I don't like talking about myself.
Why do you have a manly voice? Wow, that's weird. A manly voice, but her name is Siri. Okay, that's random. But you can chit chat with her. She can answer most of the daily random questions that you have in your daily problems in your life, kind of. Define iPhone.
Would you like me to search the web for define?
Oops. Define Google.
Here's what I found.
So it's using Wolfram Alpha to grab some data over here from the web, and usually it's pretty decent actually. But this voice isn't not something that you don't get with the iPhone 4. So something that you might want to consider. If you rely on voice, or if you're very interested into Siri, you might want to upgrade from an iPhone 4 to an Apple iPhone 5. So of course that's not everyone use it, but it could be pretty nice if you use a lot. And now I want to quickly load some apps over here, so let's go ahead and fire up Maps. Oops, sorry. But let's just go ahead and go to satellite view. And let's just go ahead and type in something so we can go to that area. Let's go to UK. Okay, let's go ahead and see here. Both are connected to my Wi-Fi network. Okay, that was interesting. I thought I was tapping that. Oops, tapping. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and directions to here. Let's go to directions to here. And let's say we start off from Iran. Okay, nice. Let's go ahead and go from Iran. Okay, nice. Route. Directions not well, but okay, I can't go from Iran to Iraq or Iran to United Kingdom. Okay, but of course both seems to be loading here pretty good, at the same time. So of course that's kind of nice. It's kind of like a hard app to check out things with. Let's just go ahead and fire up another app. Let's go ahead and close down some things in here. Let's just go ahead and fire up Safari. Or no, let's just go ahead and fire up App Store. Oh no. Sometimes the display is so small, so I miss things. As you can see over here, you can see kind of like a difference there in terms of loading speed, but not by extremely much. When we go here and let's just go ahead and go to the categories on both. Let's just go ahead and go down to here. You can also see the advantage of a big display. On the iPhone 4 we only go down to entertainment, but here we can see already to health and fitness. But if you go ahead and tap there on entertainment, you can see that, oops, it's a lot quicker there. Whoop, wait a sec. Weird. Okay, that was weird. When I tap on entertainment down here, I go to entertainment. Okay, that's very weird. Whatever. All categories, top charts. Was used because I was in there. Yeah, maybe. We see different kinds of apps. Is it just because I'm like signed in or something? Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and search for Angry Birds. So we can get kind of like the same view in here. Let's go ahead and tap on that. Loading up quicker here, both pictures and all those other things in here. Let's go ahead and go back one step. Let's go ahead and try this one. And loads up quicker, almost 70% faster or something. So, you know, wins here every single time, just as it should. Okay, sweet. Let's just go ahead and go back, and you can see also when we go back just like that, it is a tiny bit quicker there on our little device. Let's just go ahead and see here if we can go ahead and fire up something fun like Facebook or something. So let's just go ahead here and fire it up. I'm gonna close everything. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and continue. Loads is taking some time here on the iPhone 4S. And they also, you know, of course, they are connected to the same kind of Wi-Fi network. Here we have one of my buddies. You can go ahead and tap on him. He has a YouTube channel called The Simon Tack. As you can see, definitely, you know, in terms of web browsing, you can see that it's a big difference between A8 and Cortex A8 and A9. That the A9 on the iPhone is way better. Let's go ahead and tap here on this picture. And loads up way quicker. Wow. That's a major difference because they're both connected to the same Wi-Fi. Interesting. Go ahead and go down here a little bit. We have a big fat cat in here. We have a big fat cat in the house. Yeah, yes, I like a cat. So as you can see, a lot quicker. It's almost ridiculous how slow it is on this boy. Come on, boy. So in terms of like, if you're gonna do a lot of browsing, come on, bro, get the iPhone 5. Get it while you can. Or I mean, like, you will always be able to do it. You probably already do know that. If you go ahead and go down, of course I can do something like this. Let's just go ahead and try one more here. My Facebook page, or one of my Facebook pages. And as you can see, it's a little bit quicker there. There we go. Okay, so there we had some fun there with some app loading. let's just go ahead and do some web page loading. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fire up Safari here, and I'm gonna go to my favorites on both my two devices here, and then I'm gonna go to GSM Arena. And there you go, it's finished up. Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. It's loading up the full web page. There we go. Let's just go ahead and try to move in a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to some text. And both are performing the same. I mean, like it's kind of like impossible to feel difference in there. So let's go ahead and go down to Samsung Galaxy S3 mini review, and I love this website. Ooh, interesting. It finished up a little bit quicker there, but in the end, the iPhone 5 catched up. There we go, quicker, quicker, quicker. So you can definitely see that in loading speeds, that it's a lot better here. Or not by much. I mean, like, it's still, the iPhone 4 is like a 2-year-old phone, and if you're really like wondering, is it worth upgrading? Well, I mean, like, you did really see there in the Facebook app that it was definitely worth it. Not really sure if it should be that slow. Let's go ahead and go to Phone Arena. There we go. There we go, finished up. And not that far behind. Not that far behind. Let's go ahead and see this. Nokia Lumia 920 versus the Apple iPhone 5. Let's go ahead and tap on that. And there we go, finished up. And still loading. Still loading. It's almost like I could reload this page. So we can see here that it is a few seconds faster on many of the loading things that we're trying here. So definitely nice, very sweet. And as you can see, it loaded up quicker. Seems to be, could almost be around 10 seconds faster here on some of the loading things on, you know, this website. So of course that is extremely nice. You know, the upgrade. Let's go ahead and try out the heavy web page, The Verge. And even the mobile version of the website, The Verge, take a few seconds there to load. So if you go ahead and go down, let's go ahead and try to load a full site, because I know that the full site is a little bit heavy. Let's go ahead and load here. There we go, finished up. And not by much behind, but oops, it hadn't even loaded the pictures. So definitely in browsing you can really see how much better the Apple iPhone 5 is in terms of speed. But then you can also argue that, is it really worth it? You know, 10 seconds, you know, if you don't browse that much, then maybe the iPhone 4 still, you know, is the optimal thing for you to use. So some quick loading there of some websites and some, you know, fun like that. Let's just go ahead and try out some YouTube streaming here. So let's just go ahead and go to the YouTube app. I think actually we have to download it, and maybe I will skip this YouTube because interesting. Install. As you do know, with iOS, hopefully iOS 6, Apple basically removed the official like YouTube app, so I have to manually like install it. So we're gonna go ahead and do some quick loading there in this little quick video. Okay, there we go. It's finished, or it has finished up. Let's go ahead and fire up this app. There we go. Let's just go ahead and search for one of my videos. There we go. Let's go ahead and fire up this video. Way loader fasting time here. Both were loading ads. Let's go ahead and tap on this video. So this is one of my water test videos. Okay, quicker again. Got ad here on both. And this is my new funny video where I smash an iPhone. But yeah, you can definitely see that it is a little bit quicker there in terms of loading there. But the biggest thing now that we have seen that's been the biggest difference is definitely the Facebook page loading. So definitely something that you want to look out for. And also what you should know about these two devices is that oh my god, I forgot about it. Oh my god, I hate that. Let's go ahead and try some speed testing here with the speed test app. So we're gonna go ahead and try some internets, and let's see if we are on the same server. Stockholm, yeah, that's the capital of Sweden, or Sweden, my country, Stockholm. I don't live there, but you know, not that far away. Okay, let's go ahead and try this. Let's go ahead and begin test. And I do know it's retarded to run these tests at the same time, but we can still kind of see it in a fight here. Which one is most powerful? Which one steal the most? 32 megabyte download, upload. Also, yeah, 4G speeds. It should be like LTE speeds as well, but for the iPhone 5, it should be quicker than the iPhone 4S also. Or iPhone 4, I mean, of course, in terms of when you're with the carrier. But as you can see, it got stuck here. I'm not sure why. Maybe it has something to do with the server. But 32 megabits download and upload stuck there on 26 on my Wi-Fi network. And usually I think it's usually I think it's just because it is the speed test app that sucks so hard, or something to do with the server, because my internet is pretty stable. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. Okay, that's weird. Can't even see a server. Annoying. Whatever. Okay, whatever, but I did at least one test over there, and it didn't seem to be working pretty good for the iPhone 5. Did seem to perform a little bit better. Let's go ahead and go here to see. But as you see, clearly my Wi-Fi works. It's something weird. Something weird with this beta app. Let's go ahead and try one more final time. Maybe now. There we go. Okay, nice. Let's go ahead and restart the test. Let's do it one time when we see them do it at the same time. But the iPhone 5 seems to be having faster time over here. But then in some kind of weird way, it always gets stuck in upload. So I don't want to mess with that. But yeah, quick little test over there. Let's go ahead and fire up Angry Birds, and see how that app loads. It's a game. And as you can see, it's not optimized for the iPhone 5 screen, something that is a little bit annoying. It's like playing it on an iPhone. It's like playing it on an iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S. But maybe if I update it. But as you can see, it was a little bit quicker there. And also you should remember that in this video I didn't really test any like heavy games. And let's just go ahead and quickly also check out the camera app on both these two devices. So I will bring up another iPhone in here in the house. Okay, and let's just go ahead and see here. If you go ahead and look here at the options, you can see that we have options for grid and HDR pictures. There we go. You can see that it's kind of slow in terms of taking pictures. You can't really take that many pictures at the same time. Okay, pretty sweet. Let's just go ahead and fire up the iPhone 5 camera, or iPhone 5 camera. That also is 8 megapixel instead of 5 megapixel. And also you can see it has a little bit around the button, around the camera button instead of, you know, a small little button. So it takes advantage of the big display. Kind of nice there that Apple did that. As you can see, you can take pictures way quicker. And when we check out the options, you can see also we have the panorama mode, which makes you create cool pictures. Let's go ahead and try it out. So it basically works like this, that you swipe and then you need to be steady. If you do it like this, then it's gonna mess up the whole picture. Kind of weird though that the panorama mode is not available for the iPhone 4. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and see if it's available here on my other device, my iPhone 4S. Yeah, there we go. There we have the panorama mode. So something that also is a little bit interesting. So of course this was just a very quick video here, checking it out here on my little device. So I do hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, as you can also see, this one is on the latest version of iOS, you know, like 6.6.0. So both has been rocking the, you know, iOS. So yeah, hope you did enjoy this video, and if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up so I do know that I can produce more of these awesome videos. So until next time, just have an awesome day, and I'll see you all hopefully in the next video. Yeah, peace out.